You put this value, what they do is they oversize beta at sector beta. They said it's going to be 26 times earnings shares, and the biggest thing, this $4.521 per share. They are all wrong. I will go with you with this system sum of the parts, SOTP, so you can do your math with me and tell if I'm the crazy guy or Wall Street is crazy, because I think they are missing a zero. It's not 12 billion. The real price is 120 billion at least. I wish some guy will share it with a Wynn or whatever, and they said, oh, it's missing 12 or 120 billion, you know? So whatever is interesting in this message or in this episode we're gonna file is that the information is all website. Everything's on the web. You know, it's a easy finance Yahoo, Wynn share. Today, January 15, it's trading at 117. It's missing a zero. The real price, it should be 100 to 1,200, 1,200 at least, you know, easy money. But I don't know why these crazy guys, these huge analyst opinions, they said that the market is valuable at 117 per piece. So let's start. You know, this thing gets me crazy. How can we still trust the system with this atrocious $35 trillion debt? In 2018, it was almost 20. It means that in 5 years, they got 70% up. You know, also a really interesting thing of my chapter is that I have no sketch, I have nothing, you know, it's just what I try to figure out when I'm studying the companies. 35 trillion, it means 70, almost 80% increase. But these dumps, they said we have inflation of 3%, 2.5%, when real streets inflation is all the way in the 20s. You know, that's another big lie. But they say 3% because the iPhone has more capacity. Only bullshit, dumbass things, you know. Increasing your debt 80% in 5 years and you're telling you have a 3% debt, 3% inflation. Good, Wall Street. You're gonna be rich. Screwing us, all our guys. Why it's interesting about Wynn, let me go. This is their public presentation of the third quarter, and we will start with some discussions, and then you will do your math. It was released on November 5th, and you know this is garbage that they have disclosure that blah 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 bullshit. And what's interesting, and let's start with the sum of the parts. What's interesting with this beautiful company that the market is missing a zero? They have Wynn and Encore Las Vegas. Do you have perspective and everything? The same if you want to compare Resorts World, opposite corner, it was just built with 4 billion. A stupid thing. Then you have a beautiful property in Encore in Boston. It's a mini Wynn that is beautiful. It's a cash cow. Then you have the Wynn Palace and Wynn Macau in China, that if you think Vegas is nice, Wynn Palace, oh my God, this is the real deal. You can find here real money, a huge property, full, and also the original one, the Peninsula at Wynn Macau. All these things, you cannot create it, but whatever the market says, they are valuable as the trash of Caesars or MGM, that they don't own the properties, they don't do nothing. They just do bullshit. They do the REITs, they took the value, Blackstone took the properties, and all the money is taken. You know, if you check the EBITDA of Wynn, the only property that is on a REIT is the one in Boston. They loaned it for 1.5 billion back in 2022 or something like that. It's the only one that it's not in the portfolio of properties. Also, if you read this presentation, they have this valuable thing. Wynn Decide and Develop team, held by a really crazy guy, that he's the creator of all the artistry And you know, this thing, it may sound easy or not, but it's the development of all the unique features that the property have. And it's involved, it's in-house, you don't own it. Everything interesting in this company is that they have many things in-house. It's the Wynn design and development, but also the jets, also the cars. They try to have a really nice balance sheet. Superior facilities and world-class customer. Wynn is Wynn. I can tell you, I like to travel. I like to eat. I've been everywhere in the world, and if they say Mandarin Oriental is 3 billion, they say Amman is 3 billion, just of ultra high network, I think this is the king of the chickens. This is the one of the one, you know. You find the same service in Vegas, you find the same service in Boston, you find the same service in China, and it's coming the big jewel of the markets. Look this, it's their graphic. If you look at this property, sorry folks, I'm starting with this, I'm not. If you start with this, ay carajo.
No importa, o sea, esto lo voy a cortar si te equivocas o algo así. Todo esto no va a salir.
If you start with this, what you can find in this beautiful picture, 96%, when they open Wynn Al Marjan, that we will be focused, 96% of the population is in an 8-hour radio of any property. They can access all the rich people, 96% of the rich people. They have the properties. They also have Wynn Mayfair and Wynn Al Marjan. They are both in the same circle, and this thing is opening 2027. We're on 2026. It means 15 months from now, the biggest hidden jewel on the world is gonna open. The Emirates, here located, it's in the center. They're gonna have 400 million passengers in 2030 when Al Maktoum Airport finally opens. To have an idea, Atlanta is 80 million. So it's gonna be 5 times the busiest airport in the United States. And all the world is located here with all these properties. And they said it's 12 billion, all these, thousands and thousands of square foot. They're crazy, or I'm crazy, but you know, dig your research, where I'm telling you it's months and months of going over this company, because I still don't figure out how the hell market turn this super property with the garbage of the market, with the beta and, you know, sector casino. It's something really, 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 really crazy. As you can see, they don't lie. They have the beautiful, the lila, the beautiful rooms. You don't find this anywhere in the world. You don't find this in Europe. You don't find this in Asia. You find it in Wynn. You find it. They are unique in the market. They have the 1% of the 1% players. Look, these interesting things. How they can go through. How can they go through? How can they go through 2.3 times what Las Vegas charge? They said Las Vegas is dead. Yes, they have 5,000 keys out of 150. It means 3% of the keys is for Vegas. How many people is the rich people that they go through? These numbers that Vegas is broken and that's garbage. If you go to the properties now, they are full. They are betting, they are increasing. In everything, you know, everything, they are superior. And then it comes the biggest jewel in the market, Al Marjan. This beautiful thing, we need to remind the people. We need to remind the people. We need to remind the people that this property is gonna be the biggest casino thing in the world. They call about the Mirage back in the 80s. They call whatever you want to see, Las Vegas, Sands Macau back in 2006, the opening of the Palace 2014. This is one in a life generation opportunity. They're gonna have a monopoly all over the Emirates. Okay, you can go with the garbage that Arabs don't gamble, that it's not a safe city, that it's nothing well. All is bullshit, brothers. I've been in the Emirates. I like, it's my Passover getaway. I go with my family every year. I've seen the development, the government, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Ras Al Khaimah, Furiya, Sharjah, the 7 Emirates. They are the safest in the world. You can check it worldwide. What's the security issues? It's a monarchy. They are great. Sheikh Maktoum, Sheikh Zayed, all these guys, they know their job. You can see how incredible it's developing. And this is not an integrated resort in the world. This is a city inside a city, a new city that they are developing. And the market says it's $25 per share. You can go with dig, you can dig Macquarie, Morgan Stanley, CBRE, Bank of America, Barclays. They all agree that this is only $30 per share. They give a value of around $2.5 billion to the biggest thing in the world that is coming online in 2027. Plus, what is interesting of the properties is the huge, how I can say, the huge acres that we have. The huge acres we have, you know, they have 166 acres in Las Vegas, all the plot in front of the shopping center, huge land. Each acre goes around $7 million. So here you just have $1.5 billion of land bank. Then you have 16 acres in Boston, prime real estate, you know, where it's going to be the new stadium of the soccer team in Boston. You have 13 acres in Macau that they are going to develop the theater and all the entertainment that they need to get more traffic or more events. And then 70 acres in the Emirates. It means, boom, such a huge advances of the things. You cannot imagine how much all these properties, all this land is worth. If you try to go to the market and buy, you're going to spend $3-4 billion of cash flow to get this land, plus all what you need to spend it. And the company is worth $12 billion. Okay, they have a huge debt. Yes, easily. Let me don't get too easily. They said, okay, you have 12 billion market cap, you have $10.8 billion debt. It's $23 billion. If I have $23 billion, brother, I will submit a tender offer and I will make a hostile takeover. This is pennies on the dollar when you figure out all these assets for $25 billion. But since the market is colluded and they share and they mix garbage with gold, shit with diamonds and everything, then you get these opportunities in the market and they say, no, it's full of debt. Full of debt, 10 billion with 12 billion market cap. It's something I don't understand, but you know, markets are lazy. They don't want to see. People follow all these idiots. Sorry, I tell them idiots, but you know, these gurus of the market that they say that it's a spreadsheet, you know, spreadsheet of Excel. You can tell all the lies you want because they are modeling the old Macau, the old Vegas, and they are not taking into account the new things that they've been working the last years. Me as a guest, I like to go to that company. I like to be their guest. I like to gamble over there. I see what they are doing and they're crazy, bro. They know how to do their job. This beautiful thing, Wynn Al Marjan, poof. Okay, yes, they have 40% of equity, but in the end, what the Emirate want is a basic, you know, a huge thing attracting all the people, and a casino in the Emirates is the only thing missing. They like to gamble, they like to drink, they like to smoke, they like everything is forbidden. But it's not Arabs only, it's Europeans, Russians, Africans, Asians, it's all the fucking world, brother. And they're here. So what's the interesting thing of doing your math is this following thing. Core template, let me see how I can get it here. ¿Cómo lo puedo checar, Elios? Es que si no, no me está sirviendo.
A ver, hacemos un corte pequeño.
¿Va bien?
Sí, ¿cómo? ¿Este pedo?
Sí, o sea, quiero quitar esto pero no lo puedo quitar.
Ay,
He tratado de...
No, es que si le pico se va... Es que es una presentación, ¿verdad?
Sí. A ver, déjame volverla a abrir y ya.
Perfecto.
Okay, yeah. No, it doesn't work. But anyway, what it's interesting of this presentation is they show you every quarter this slash. All are wrong. That's the incredible thing of the things. They say that when taking out UAE, they're so fucking wrong in these three that the market, if the analysts they say thing is worth between 130 and 140 at 65, okay, I bet you that in the long term with sustained free cash flow you cannot get this, because Vegas, Macau, Boston and future the UAE, they are all wrong. They are figuring out the past. They are not thinking the ramp, the tiger, all the things that has changed in the market. It's a thing that blah blah blah. They said no, we don't have free cash flow because they have a huge capex cycle. Yes, they have a huge capex cycle because they understand that the business changed and they are developing the needs to get the 1% of the 1%. You know, these guys, they are not easy guys. To bring a Jeff Bezos on property, or the billionaires or the ultra high net worth individuals, you need to be great. You need to have assets that they don't have anywhere in the world. You are worried about the things, they are more diverse than everything. Everything here is true, you know, I have valued everything and they are not lying to you. You can see the biggest, one of the first lies, Vegas. To get you a perspective of Vegas, es que no se está grabando bien. Qué mierda. No sé por qué. Esto, to get a perspective of Vegas. You can see this, el scroll sí se ve, ¿verdad?
Todo lo que hagas en la pantalla se ve.
Okay. Hasta mover el
Incluyendo el cursor.
Okay, so we will do it with this easier because you know it's the one and I want to get it stream. So maybe I can get my 5 likes or I can get way hell a lot. You know, the sky is the limit and I follow my dreams. And to follow your dreams, you need to think. You need to be with you. You need to have your ideas. You need to question over question over question, because this is all damn rigged, brothers. They're crazy. It's turning my mind hell yeah of what the hell, how this can be possible. And you know, the only thing it's possible is that they mix spreadsheets. They follow so many companies and they got lost in this sea of things, of information, because their Excel, their spreadsheet is wrong. Fourth quarter 24, $619 million EBITDA in Vegas properties. They took a $25 million hit with the Formula One, that it was lower. This year it was way better. This 619 of the fourth quarter, I expected way over that. You can see the growth in Vegas. It's wrong. They are populating a 5-6%. It's gonna explode. They ramp up the tiger. They ramp up the smart tables. They have it, everything. Whatever you want to see over here. What the shares in the casino, 200 million in the third quarter, 260 back in the last year. Completely wrong. What you can see important with the company, average daily rate up 2%, RevPAR down 2%, OPEX 4.33 million. What is interesting, it's 3.1% year over year. When inflation is ramping at 20%, 15%, 10%, I run a company, not a really big company, but I do a good business. And managing your expenses in this inflation environment with 3%, the CEO tells it's a river of nickel and dimes. They know their job, the quality, the customer experience keeps the same, and keeping it at 3.1%, it's crazy. You have the Boston thing also, 1.9% up with the union and labor costs. Average daily rate up, you know, flat. You can see the company in Boston, their EBITDA are 63, 59, 57. It's a cash cow, it's a domestic market. It's the Boston area. It's beautiful. This is the property that has the REIT, and all they share it's they pay around 150 million per year of rent of the property. If I get back to this example, is if it makes so much damage in the Wynn balance sheet, imagine MGM or Caesars that all their properties are loaned to Blackstone. These guys, they just have one, the small one. The big guys like MGM or Caesars, I don't know how they are not worthless, but you know, the market is the market. They give a price, people tend to give a price, and then you get screwed and you say, oh, the market goes wrong. No, it's not the market. You do your information, check your maths, build the numbers, go one with one. You can verify everything on the internet and see if you think that Nvidia is worth 4 trillion or 400 billion. You know, they may miss a zero also in the wrong way, because you know, these guys, the same guys that tell us this is 12 billion, is the same guys that they said $6 trillion. That's madness, brother. Then you go to Macau, same thing, adjusted quarterly. We have the fourth quarter, the strong. If you go to the GGR on the web pages and see the GGR gross gaming revenue growing in the region, you can see that they are growing at 20%. It's not 20% more of a tourist. Is that they ramp, they change the rules of the game, they do a little adjustments, and they are creating basically more food floor, more casino, more everything. But you know, they are in the middle of the expanding, finding the way, going through the things. And the numbers haven't built up, but this is wrong. The real numbers are going to explode. You know, they just opened this Wynn Palace Gourmet Pavilion. I was there in March. You can say, no, I was there in September. You can say, well, blah, you know, it's a fucking fast food marvelous. You find all the gastronomies, Italian, Chinese, Indian, Turkish, whatever you want. It's like 25 food halls that you find from sushi, a really nice sushi, all the way to Chinese food, all the way to Indian, Korean. It's amazingly. This thing is beautiful. They just opened it and it's the OPEX. We keep going with Wynn Al Marjan. Opening 2027. It looks way far. It's 15 months. And the real thing is they're going everything on track. I've been following it for the last 18 months. They said we're going to be topped out in December. They went topped out. We're going to have the debt and everything accordingly in finish of 2024. They got it. They are on budget, they're on time, they're on scale, they're on everything. They're building a city, but the market says, no, this is way, we need to wait, we need to see. But let's figure out something that it gets to my mind. But then you have a expected IPO of SpaceX, and they value the company at so much money, you know, and they're going to land in Mars in 2045 or whatever it's that. But that's value for the money. But this, that it's opening in 15 months, the market, the analysts, they need to be conservative. They need to tell that, no, we need to see how it's going to go. Their expected GGR or whatever they're valuing the company is bullshit. They said that it's $1 billion GGR market with 3 competition. They have no competition opening. They have nothing on door, but the market says it's going to be between 2 and 3 guys. For the last 2 years, the Emirates, they legalize the gambling. They do the rules. Everyone has a right to build one casino, but so far there's only one guy, Wynn, and it's going to have between 3 and 5 billion. I said that number is also really wrong. The GDP of the Emirates is almost 600 billion. By 2.5% that is the expected return with so much tourists and so much expats and everything, it's a market of 50 billion. They said 1 billion. You know, the number changed really cool. But these guys, like everything, you know, going to Mars in 2045 is valuable at trillions of dollars, but opening something in the middle of the world in 2027, it's so much uncertainty that nobody wants to do something, because, you know, we need to follow the market. And since Wynn is mixed with garbage, they got mixed with Caesars, with MGM, with all these terrible companies that they expose all the real assets and trash everything. You know, they're the same, they're in the same thing, you know. So one pioneer is the same garbage, because the market is the market, and you need to follow betas, you need to follow all this, because this is what they told to you. I'm just asking you, you do your math. Look, this Construction on schedule, currently progressing through the 70th floor of the hotel and will top out in December. We are now in January. You can find in the internet, you can follow the web pages, and you can see that the development is going back on track. They are almost fully crystallized, all the properties. They are on track to opening in 15 months. But this is the advantage. If you can see, it's not a plot, it's a city. It's Island 3 in the Marjan, it's 700 square meters. 700,000 square meters. It's huge. They are only using 1/4 of the island. It's coming next to Yanu here, also ultra high network, and they have plenty of areas to develop the Encore Tower, the Season 2, and everything coming in 2030. But the market, they say this is slow. As I can tell you, they announced the Wynn Al Marjan. It's gonna be 132 altar rooms plus the tower, the condominium tower. That it's gonna be, I don't know. If things are fetching these prices in the Emirates, this thing is going to be outstanding. And the easiest thing is a capex of 25 to 50 million. According to my calculations or whatever I've gone through with ChatGPT and the AI and everything, it's going to be a free cash flow of 50, 100 million per year once they are opening the phases, because Wynn is the heart and you need to develop the ecosystem of the ultra rich. They are going with Janu. Janu is, a man, they say that it's one of the best brands. Yes, they are unique, they are authentic, they're really, really, really nice. But Janu is like their, how I can tell you, the baby brother, but still really nice. The Janu in Toronomon in Tokyo is amazing. They have beautiful property. They know their deal. It's also for the ultra high net worth. It's perfect match with them. So when you see that they're gonna spend 25 million on capex on this, they're gonna sell these square meters in billions, 30%. That is the average winning of the developments in the Emirates. I'm not telling you. You can check it with MR, with all these big developers of Nakil, MR, all these guys. The government, they like a 30% equity, so this thing is gonna fetch $1 billion, the 30% equity. Wynn has the 40% of this joint venture. It's big money, brothers. So it's another thing that you need to be understanding. And then, how I can tell you, there are many ways of valuing companies: buy books, buy returns, buy bullshit, blah, blah, blah. But free cash flow, they said free cash flow. What in the end is free cash flow? Before OPEX or after OPEX? You need to question this. The OPEX is operational expenditure, the capital expenditure, if it's OPEX or CAPEX. You need to be careful because the market tends to mix it, and since you are not having a lot of final free cash flow, they said, no, the company is worthless. Or you need to value it by 6 times according to the last free cash flow. All is bullshit because they are mixing CAPEX with OPEX. Even me starting this 1 minute ago, I mess it up. And the interesting thing is how you can see the presentation. They run perfectly on time. Their expenditure for Marjan is 400 million, that it's 90 million per quarter to build this of the 40% joint venture, that in then they're gonna be partners 50-50 or 60-40, because the sheikh, he only wants to bring the casino and the entourage of the island, because he's also building a new city in the contour of the island in Ras Al Khaimah, that it's 45-minute driving from Dubai, but with the helicopters it's gonna be 15 minutes. They are building a city the size of Manhattan, 13 central parks. It's something that is going pipeline 2030. It's a huge project, but nobody's speaking because you have Dubai, you have Abu Dhabi. This is like the baby brother that with the casino and things, he will be mainstream back in 2027. They said CAPEX, these things are crazy, but they're so important. If you can see, Fairway Villas renovation, these things go through the magnificent golf course in Wynn, that they have the Fairway Villa view and everything. They are building, they just did it brand new. I haven't had the opportunity to know them. Zero Bond, that magic New York Manhattan club that brings the billionaires and millionaires, that it's pure. They're building a new golf course club. They just tear it down. This high table limit expansion, it looks idiot. Let me focus you some numbers on the high table limit expansion. They open 8 new tables, baccarat, blackjack, roulette, and craps, for these premium VIP players that, according to my calculations, that later in the next episodes, you're open to question and make questions. You can tell you're an idiot, you're a jerk, you don't know nothing. Maybe I'm just a humble guy here in the world. I'm 1 out of 8,000 million people. So yes, maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm a prick. But, interesting questions that you tell me, hey, Salo, what do you think about this? And I said, this CapEx, I've been dealing with it, and I know that they have the return in 2.5 years or maybe less. So imagine all this money that it's printing, the 400, the 200, that when they go pipeline, that they're on the way, or many of the projects are pipeline, like the high limit level expansion, that it's beautiful. It's gonna be here 80 million of free cash flow by 2028, getting to 2.5 times the return, because that's the average what they do. The Chairman Club at Wynn Palace is the same as the expansion here. They don't want players, you don't want the one that they save nickels and dimes and they are bargaining this. They attack the ultra high net worth individuals. They're very rich people, and this Chairman Club at Wynn Palace is to bring that premium place. I haven't been there, the big stakes, the big players. I have no idea really what's going on there. But what I know is that it's coming also 14 tables back before the Chinese New Year in February. And that 14 tables, betting people, according to my calculations that later we can share or we can discuss in serious people's, these are big tables, it's a machine printing. And obviously this is coming the Wynn Palace Event and Entertainment Center and the theater. Macau is slow, they have a lot of regulation, but this is gonna be the traffic. They're gonna bring huge Chinese artists. They don't gonna sell the tickets. What they want is the quality player. Another 200 million, that is gonna be 80 million per year. You add 120, 150, 160 million then. So what's the free cash flow that in the end is the real game? Because all this money that is going from their cage, from their banks, from their flow, eventually is gonna return. Because I proved this high limit table expansion is marvelous. They know their job. This capex is gonna return to the company like crazy. You can see wherever the Boston that it's the REIT that they spend 126 million, the maintenance, it's a capex 120 million, but it's a beautiful property. They have it top niche, huge area, crazy as hell. It's beautiful how they manage their cost. And they said, oh, but Wynn has a lot of bets, 5 billion in America, 5.8 billion in Asia, total 11 billion at 6%, it means 700 million. That's the problem with this company. They have a huge load of interest payments, but when this thing turns a little bit the way I think, the massive shift is gonna be crazy. These are the numbers, WACC and all that garbage, you see 6.5%, 5.8%, there goes the 700 million of interest. You can see that they are repurchasing their stock. This billing guy in their quarterly call, he says the future is bright. He announces every quarter the future is bright. We've been doing the changes, and it's just a matter of ramp. It's just a matter of getting things synchronized. When this thing is gonna pump money, because it's a cash cow. There's no way that if Wynn is not a machine of money, the rest are worthless. The casino sector is completely eroded. Fortunately for these dumps of Caesars, these greedy guys of MGM, all these guys that launder properties, they're gonna get saved with the Tiger. The Tiger is a baccarat table side bet that it looks very idiot. Tiger, what can it do as side bet? It changed the game. It make it way more table drop, more earnings, more action. It's building more powerful bets. It's bringing the boring baccarat to be a super extraordinary games, and it's gonna save many of these companies. But with Wynn the Tiger, it's gonna change forever the free cash flow. Here it's a crazy of you need to be worried about the debt of Wynn. You can see in 2026 they are completely debt free, and on 2027 they have $2.2 billion of bonds and liquidity and blah blah blah. But look, you have 2.8. So the cash of the company now, it can pay all the way to 2027, and you don't need to worry because the 2026 the free cash flow, even with this huge capex, is positive. And Billings, again, in all his conference call, he says 2027 it came a inflection point in the free cash flow. He shouted and he says, okay, but the market is busy with Nvidia, busy with these big AI things, and they need to benchmark them, so they think we casino, so we're gonna purchase our shares and we're gonna let it go. You can see they have the billion liquidity to cover all this. They have $4.5 billion in cash balance and revolvers and everything to cover 2.2. In 2028, it's also 28. But here, in this gap, 2027, 2028, is coming the Marjan. It's coming also a huge cash cow. You have no idea of this cash cow. So this is the debt. They said, if I'm a CEO of the CFO of a company, I would say, bro, we are perfectly well. Seeing this monster coming live, see all the capex, all the things that it's coming, and having this stressful point, they are on the sky, brother. But the market says this is garbage. So what is the most important thing? This is completely wrong. All the valuation of the company goes through total adjusted EBITDA, that they said last quarter they do 570 million. The easiest thing to go easy is that so far so short, they did 88 millions in the quarter. Why 88 millions? You get, we have that with all the F&B properties, with the ramp, with the Formula One, with Tiger, with all. Why 88 millions? Because they have this huge rent of the Boston thing and their interest, the 158 millions. It shares this. Imagine when you have the free cash flow positive, that you're gonna bring this debt down to zero and you're gonna be more buybacks and everything. This 158 is a huge load. But when your number is not 570, I believe that the number in the fourth quarter is gonna be between 700 and 800, or maybe way more, growing at the 20% year over year. When they said, boring, this company is gonna go 6%, they're not checking the tiger, they didn't check the physics. They are putting on their stupid balance sheet and their spreadsheet, they're putting numbers, old numbers. It's like trying to beat AI with normal internet. They said, no, it's the same thing, blah, blah, blah. Well, they said 88 million last quarter, 66. This is all wrong. There is way to go through the numbers. Wynn Palace, Wynn Macau at the 20% Tiger ramp and everything. The EBITDA is gonna explode here on 2026 mid. Las Vegas operation is beautiful. Encore is constantly going through the things. It's just a brief introductory. I will wish your questions so I can answer it. But if you build your math, you go through the things, you analyze this company. If you're a financial guy, if you're a guy that knows something, go through the numbers, go through the things, dig it, and you will find that with proofs, this company is worth 10 times what the market says. But markets are always correct till they are wrong. And when they're wrong, bail me out, government. We suck it with with this mortgage garbage they did. They suck with everything. And then bail me out, government, because we idiots in Wall Street, we don't know what we do. We are greedy. We get paid. And market says that we're right. They suck, brother. You just not trust it. It's a huge, and it's my first episode. Hope you like it. When I'm available, because I run a company. When I'm available, I'm not traveling on that, I will try to upload more episodes while I'm studying with ChatGPT and all the information. And let's keep going. You know, the earning call since in like 5 weeks. I'm not expecting you to buy or sell. I'm just trying you folks to open your eyes to see that the word or whatever they said in the spreadsheet sometimes is wrong. And then we cry or we said, why this is happening? Why this is coming? Why this is fulfilling? And they say, they mix they bet aside the sector, they mix all, and they think that everything is the same and you just need to follow numbers and follow government debt, government expenditures, all this garbage. Remember, this all money, I was in the Bear Stadium, great game with the Packs. When I realized that one of my sons wanted hot chocolate and it cost me $17 a hot chocolate because you get the tip. It was a $12 original hot chocolate plus 10% 10% tax plus 18% gratitude to the people because they charge, because it's an inflation, because they cannot manage the wages and everything. When you find that a stupid hot chocolate gets $18 or a bottle of water gets to $7 or $50, what you can expect of the economy? Be safe, folks. Invest or try to do the things that are smart. Don't follow these idiots that they say the inflation is on 3%. Don't follow these guys that they tell you that everything is going to be cool. They are all wrong. I don't know how to prove it. I have no way. I'm a humble man, as I can tell you. But I like to question things, and this Wynn thing, it's been questioning me because where I have my mouth, I have my money. I don't want to be a roaring kitty or that kind of shit, betting on a GameStop or betting on a Mirage that the company is going to translate or going to move or going to figure out. These companies already, they're just in that period of ramping, and when everything, the capex, opex, everything is concerning it. But they said that they have a $2.3 billion EBITDA lasting 12 months. I can assure you that that number is completely wrong. Maybe 2027 is going to be 4.5, and when they ramp the Marjan before the expansion and everything, this thing is going to be 6 billion. Run your numbers, run your free cash flow, share it with me, do your Excels, and figure out what's the price. If it's 125 or it's 1250, at least, because they have all the way opportunity, huge land bank developments. And everything, you can find me on LinkedIn. We will share it with my guy Elias, that I thank him for helping me do this. You can tell gold was back. I've been shouting it forever that gold was supposed to be, because there is no way to keep inflation at 3% and keeping all these lies. You need to be smart, you need to be clever, do your information. Don't trust these guys. These gurus that they say analysts and they follow the market and they move it. We're in a crazy danger that if this is right, maybe NVIDIA is wrong with a 0, maybe Tesla is wrong with a 0, and they put it because they model spreadsheets, they model the past, they model the future, they don't care about the perpetuity, they do a mess to fix the numbers and if they miss, they are conservative. If they go big, and they miss, they are dumps. So they try to be dumps, and then they say, yes, our price target is 132, but our bull case is 208, so we may be safe. If the market reacts, we still say the market is safe. That's all garbage. These guys, these analysts, whatever it's my opinion, is that they have so much work, so much information, so many things going on, that their prices, their spreadsheet, is a huge risk. Wall Street sucks. They suck because they don't do their job. Normal people, regular people, we got screwed. I've been screwed with this position, but you know, I know the numbers. I have capital to find a way out, and I will keep going on this because it's not possible that NVIDIA is worth $4 trillion and this is $12 billion, that the future of Mars can be worth trillions of dollars, but the present is worthless because they bet aside the sector, they do it. I'm repeating this, so I hope you like my episode. I hope you can share with me your ideas. I'm willing you understand it, and let's see how it goes. Have a good day, folks. Thank you very much.